drop some energy today. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency and the FEDNOW, blockchain, NFTs, ISO 222. I could go on and on and on. This is my thing. You know, only about 8 or 9 years pumping it, you know. Very few people paid attention, and now everybody's like, oh, FEDNOW. In everything there's good and bad. But there's some things that you just have to accept. You cannot change. It's just that simple. You cannot change. Money is evolving, you know. And to some people, they domesticated, or they're born into a system where they don't see nothing else. You know, some people just, for the life of them, have always seen a paper dollar, and that's it. You know, and when it was emerged into credit cards and debit cards and all these different things, their businesses failed because they couldn't understand the fact of paying a fee to process their money, you know. And they thought by not accepting it, you know, they would change the course of things, but that didn't happen. It takes a lot more than a few small businesses not accepting credit cards to be like, oh, they ain't going to credit cards. So, you know, we've had examples of money evolving over time, but, you know, people don't see it as evolution of money. They don't see things that way because we're so domesticated to the only way we get money is to go to work. You know, most of us, 99% of the world, to get money have to go to work. You know, that's why they say the 1% rich. They have assets and they have different things that make money for them. You know, they sell to us, we're the consumer. You know, from the time cryptocurrency, blockchain, all this other stuff emerged, you know, people are very skeptical about it. Some people, you know, very, very small percentage of the world invested and made money in the early years. You know, there's still money to be made, but you have to understand how the money is being made. And it's not all just about making money. You gotta understand this is technology that is integrated into our financial system now. You know, the movement of money, the freeing up of liquidity in transactions. This is the things that you have to understand. It's a bigger picture. This ain't about me and you sending $20 to somebody for lunch. They want to move trillions of dollars, millions and billions of dollars around the world in seconds. So the normal way to move money is through the SWIFT system, whether it be Western Union, MoneyGram, whatever. That's called a cross-border payment. You know, you walk into a place, you give them the money, you tell them who you're sending it to, and then they send a confirmation, or you give the person a confirmation to go collect it up. You know, you go into the bank and you do a wire transfer, and the bank wires money from one bank to the next, you know. But nobody's actually physically getting up or jumping on a plane to go and take this money from your bank to the next person if you're sending money overseas, especially. So SWIFT is really a messaging system that banks use, and the US and a few other countries were part of this coalition to move money around the world. So basically, Bank of America, you walk in the Bank of America, you want to send $1,000 to Trinidad or Jamaica or whatever. You're basically sending the money from your account. You know, you fill out the paperwork and they will basically send the money, as they say. But all they're doing is sending a message to the bank in Jamaica or Trinidad saying, hey, this person been approved. You know, they have the money and everything like that. Release the funds to them. So how this is made possible is the fact that big banks have subsidiary banks all over the world that hold US dollars for these situations, because the US is a reserve currency, or was, let's say was, because if you're paying attention to the news, you'll see how many different countries are breaking away from the US dollar. And this is something I used to preach about, you know, through inflation and depreciation of a lot of things. The US dollar just doesn't have that strong hold. It's not backed by anything but the good word of the American government, basically. Money used to be pegged to gold, and that's how it got its value. Basically, if you had $1 million and you turned it, and you would get, you know, $1 million worth of gold. But if the money that's in society right now, if everybody turned it in for some sort of conversion, it wouldn't work, because the US government, the federal government, the Federal Reserve, they just print money to cover their losses, to bail people out or whatever. So, you know, there's just a lot of currency in the world that is just backed by the good faith of the government. And as we know, and we watch every time there's a change in government, there's always some sort of bullshit going on because they look out for their people. That's basically how it works. One side wants cryptocurrency, the other side doesn't want cryptocurrency because cryptocurrency affects them. Cryptocurrency is something that allows money to be tracked. So my point is, and I'm gonna stop here in a little bit and touch back again, but my point is, if you're not doing any bullshit, you shouldn't worry about your money being tracked. No, to some people will be like, well, I don't want you tracking my money, but guess what? They're tracking you now. As long as you have a job, you got a W-2, whatever the case is, they know how much money you make, they know your income. That's why you can't scam shit. They already know you're a working class person, already embedded into the system. If they wanted to shut your accounts down, if they want to garnish your wages, if they want to do anything, they can already do it. So don't think when FEDNOW come about, there's some new thing that's going to happen. It's just going to be more automated, for them to retrieve money for anything that you owe, and you just ain't going to be able to walk away from bills and non-payment and stuff and a lot of things that people usually do. You're going to actually acquire some really bad credit if you have a bad financial lifestyle. So on one hand, it's like it's messed up because we shouldn't be in a world working to earn to live, but at the same time, this is the world that we're in. So are you going to be a victim or are you going to be a player in this world? So that's what it all boils down to. So as things evolve, as technology emerge, you for your own self got to understand that you have to stay on top of stuff or you're going to become obsolete, So I've seen this thing happen not just with businesses, but I've seen it happen with family members and stuff like that. I remember when I wanted to get into computers, and I was 15 and 45 now, so that's 30 years ago, and I went to my grandfather and my mother, and I told them about computers, and they tell me they're going to phase out. But at 15, I know it wasn't going to phase out. I saw a future. I saw everything, you know what I mean? But it's just so it goes. Some people see what they see, some people don't, It's just like a mechanic, like some people saw electric cars coming, some people had the idea, just didn't have the funding to do it, or the know-how, to go about getting investors to invest in a project like that. So it's the same thing with cryptocurrency. It's evolving, it's emerging technology, so there's a lot of pros and cons, but at the end of the day, it is what's going to be embedded in society, and it's already been embedded in society. People just don't even understand how many things they're already using that has cryptocurrency in it, but we'll touch on more of the FEDNOW, the uses, what's really going to happen. I might even give you some little tips on how to get into the whole cryptocurrency thing. But I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't want to tell people what to do with their money. But I've always been a person just trying to be the warrior outside hunting and coming back and feeding the village. If you want to take this information and run with it, run with it. If you don't, hey, I don't give two shits. But at the end of the day, I'm outside. We're not running handle up this scene. We're talking a bit.